See ya! And I wouldn't want to be here.
The gangsters or mob genre in the subgenre of the crime/thrillers in film. The genre consists of streetwise thugs, bank robbers, femme fatales and drug dealers, yet looking deeper into their personal lives and behind their motivations and desires is what's really interesting in these films. Despite the heavy action and violent sequences, this film essay is a visual example of how the stylistic influences of the Italian-American film genre have become heavily indoctrinated in latter African-American crime films of similar conventions. We see how contemporary filmmakers have reinvented the cinematic styles of earlier works to tell a similar but culturally diverse narrative story. The gangster film takes place in an urban environment. Set It Off, New Jack City and American Gangster, all being featured in the social environment of the city. Immediately, we are given a sense of community and an understanding of the working class. The major themes of the gangster genre are money, love, greed and power. Filmmakers of these films make sure to exhibit all the themes in most films. These selection of films show a real wide range of these themes.
A morphin' fucking Power Ranger?
The settings of ethnic or origin characters in the urban city itself is a theme.
Flash, pizzazz, a little coke money doesn't hurt nobody, you know?
The search for one's identity in a foreign land can obviously cause confusion in the pursuit of wealth.
Fucking onions.
I got my babysitter.
Look, if you don't like working for Luther's janitorial,
in this sequence of Set It Off, it is comparable to Scarface, as characters work dead-end jobs with bigger aspirations for their future.
Don't stay too fucking long, man. We got a lot of work to do, so.
Get back to work.
In the next sequence, Set It Off and New Jack City borrow stylistically from The Godfather, with the actresses giving their best mob Italian impersonations.
It's back to work, see? If only Tashawn and Stoney will come rob the bank with us.
Nino Brown takes the role of what would be the Godfather.
Good. Because you gotta rob to get rich in the Reagan era.
And the comparisons in brown colour of the set and also the formal costumes of the characters. The music score is also representative and symbolic of mafia connotations, as the score is from The Godfather itself.
Set It Off is a good example of how the conventions have been reversed for the gangster crime genre. Normally, female characters are presented as weak, but these characters show their strength and independence through serious crimes.
Look at that crackhead Darnell can rob a bank.
This sequence is an example of how the characters overcome their social stereotype. Females in these films are portrayed often as lesser than men. We can see how women are objectified in these films, as they are more like possessions to these characters who live villainous lives with no regard for safety and well-being of their companions.
But we ain't crazy, so we can't.
So now you making the rules?
Frankie, please. Please. Ain't nobody over here gonna be robbing no bank.
Right. We ain't gonna rob no bank. Let's just go in there and blow it the fuck up.
The construct of the mob is created by being Italian Americans and African Americans, being of dual heritage, presenting a sense of oppression from the social majority.
What you mean what was up with me at the club? The club ain't my scene. I like to go to the club, take care of my business, talk to the people I need to talk to, put it down like that. Everybody checking you, checking me, all flashy and shit. That's not my thing.
You're just boring, that's all. That's all.
Ain't that boring. I really ain't that boring.
Big shit. What, I'm supposed to take this and go shopping?
If I'm so boring, then what why you with me?
First of all, I ain't impressed by that. I'm with you because I'm boring too. All right?
Man, consecutively you can see the similarities between how the wedding sequences are set up. A big wedding is something that most people aspire to have in life, and in the majority of these films, a big wedding is presented. Perhaps the filmmaker wants to present the idea that with money you can buy life, love and happiness. We later see in these films how this is not the case, as most of these relationships perish.
She's the most beautiful bride I've ever seen. That's my sunshine right there, Mr. Williams. I wish Bumpy had a medal.
In a pre-millennium white America where a lot of these ethnic minorities are unemployed, resorting to a life of crime in the only option of these characters. The themes of poverty and drug abuse repeat themselves as we see protagonist characters struggle until they decide to make a drastic change in their lives, which create a massive impact directly towards the narrative of the pieces.
I was in love with you, man. Only you got a look in your eye like you haven't been fucked in a year.
Hey, Jose. Who I went and how I fuck is none of your business, okay?
Now you're talking to me.
Why is it Cosmos? Why don't you call it Franks?
But when you own something, you can call it what you want.
Smalls.
Or Franks. Frankie Smalls.
Smalls Frankie.
That's right. You gonna let my hand go?
In these sequences of American Gangster, Scarface, and New Jack City, we can see how the objectifying role that the male protagonists have put their female companions in backfires. Character motivations are very important to note in the gangster film genre. We can see how the struggle beforehand has influenced the characters to begin a life of crime in order to better the circumstances for them and the people around them. Through this, different perspectives are achieved, as we often see good people do bad things for good reasons, which is a theme within itself. The gangster protagonists are presented as modern-day Robin Hoods. The community and family are one and one entity. It is almost as if they're an extension to the community, which serves the gangsters as the protectors in their minds. We see how they portray themselves as almost regal and royal in nature. Yet it is ironic because the community either loves or endorses or hates these characters through strong sense of fear.
And you ain't going nowhere either. Huh?
Costumes for these films are formal outfits such as suits and smart attire, but in the African American gangster films they dress street as an aspiration for the suits and flashy lifestyle the majority of the minority have not reached yet.
You nigga, what the fuck are you doing up there?
A man like you need no needs to leave a legacy. A son, a mark to let the world know that he was here.
Right. You know, you absolutely right. Shit, I mean, it ain't like I ain't been trying. Ain't that right, Selena, baby, huh?
Hey, Nino.
Nino Brown makes Scarface references throughout New Jack City. The world is mine. And throughout the sequence, Scarface end scene plays.
Louise, you take Thelma over there and y'all go rob another bank if you all that.
Fuck you! I know you ain't finna back down on us now that we need you. I want some more motherfucking money.
Cleo, you are real high and you acting real stupid.
In the next sequences are an example of betrayal and the themes of trust being broken within these films. Betrayal is a universal theme which spans across both films. Stylistically, Paid in Full and Scarface scenes are similar as they feature similar aesthetic framing and also choreography from the character. In the next sequence in Goodfellas, we see how Tony's wife points a gun at him in the same way that Scarface's sister did. They wear the same colour dress, which is a stylistic decision to pay homage to the final Scarface scene.
Is this what you want, Tony?
Framing for this sequence consists of a wide range of medium and long shots used to establish the location and proximity for other characters. Close-ups and extreme close-ups are used to exhibit emotional scenes where characters are showing a heightened emotional state. Lighting is normally dark to match the subject tone. Low-key lighting in the majority of sequences are shot with subtle lighting, which makes the film look more natural and realistic for the spectator.
I'm all yours now, Tony.
Now, who did this to you?
All of these films exhibit a similar formula of the rise and fall. The message is that crime does not pay. Within all these films, the protagonist exhibits some sort of morale decision preceding the penultimate end. For some, the choice is death. For others, a revelation and deterrence from their previous lives of crime.
I see you checking out that help wanted sign. What? Nah.
Objection sustained.
Look, I don't know nothing about being a rat.
Mr. Hill, you know everything about being a rat.
Objection, Your Honor. In view of the violence...
Anything I wanted was a phone call away. Free cars, the keys to a dozen hideout flats all over the city. I'd bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend, and then I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to pay back the bookies. Didn't matter. Didn't mean anything. When I was broke, I would go out and rob some more. We ran everything. We paid off cops, we paid off lawyers, we paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. And now it's all over.
The ending is not a happy ending for majority of these characters. Irrespective of money and riches, the characters often lose more than they gained in the first instance. Although they are doomed to failure and inevitable death, these criminals are sometimes portrayed as the victims of circumstance, because the story is told from their perspective. The gangster was appealing to the working class culture, as many of them are unemployed. The gangster was a character who refused to play by society's rules and confronted the establishment.